everybody, it's Emily at ARG Schooling, and I'm kind of back. I have been missing for like a month or so. Like I know I came back at the beginning of September, like I'm back, it's me again, but no. Or no, that was back in August. And I just like, I've been in this weird headspace where I just like could not do anything. Like I couldn't make myself film. I was just like feeling very uninspired, and I've been just like not doing great like mentally. It's just been a whole ordeal, and I decided to just take a break because I didn't want to feel like I was forcing myself and putting out content that I wasn't proud of, that I didn't like, so I decided to just take a break. So I did that. I didn't even make a TBR last month. September was all about mood reading, and I think I am going to continue that for the rest of the year because that has been going better. Like I'm still in this like weird funk, but the show must go on, and I feel better about sitting in front of a camera. So that is what we're, today I want to talk about like my end of the year TBR, because I am not making like a regular TBR like I normally do. I'm not worrying about TBRs for the year. I am just kind of reading what I want. However, I am still trying to finish my challenges. I'm prioritizing the Build Your Library Reading Challenge. I'm prioritizing the buzzword and the 5-star predictions that I put together at the beginning of the year because I really wanted to do those things. So let's talk a minute about mood reading. I've always been like straddling the line between a planner and a mood reader. I've been able to like put together a TBR of things that I want to read right now and semi-stick to that, but also allow myself the flexibility to like, oh, if I'm really in the mood for this other thing, I'll read that too. But one of the big things that I'm working on right now is just finding the joy in reading again, finding a way to just get lost in stories and not worrying about like what I have to do, but also reading the things that I own. And I know you guys are probably sick of hearing it. I'm trying to read my shelves because I feel like I don't do that enough. Like I'm always reading other things. Like I'm constantly reading ARCs, and I'm reading like books that I pick up at the library, or I'm reading new releases and things, and I'm not focusing on what I already have, which means that I have this huge TBR. Like my TBR is obnoxious. I've seen people like, oh, my TBR is as tall as me, and no. You guys, you have no idea. I have like over 800 books on my TBR, and that's not counting middle grade and stuff that I'm reading for ARCs and that kind of stuff. So like my TBR is obnoxious, and I will never be able to read all of it. But I am in the process right now of whittling down my home library. We are planning to move in a couple of years, and I need to deal with this because, and seriously, this looks like a lot. This is only a quarter. This is a small little bit of what I own. And it is out of hand. So I am trying to get, like, I've gotten rid of over 100 books already in just a month. And that barely made a dent. Like, you guys, it's ridiculous. But one of the things that I'm working on is reading what I have. Like, I bought this. Why did I buy this? Is this worth keeping? Like, this has been on my shelf for 5 years. Do I need it? Am I going to ever read it? And if not, let it go, you know? So like it's been a whole process, but like I am determined to go through what I have. And I'm never gonna ever have like just the books that I love. I'm never gonna only have like a small, like I am not that person. I will always have a big home library. However, the thought of packing somewhere in the realm of 4,000 books makes me a little bit sick. Like I don't need this many. So I'm letting things go. But anyway, I feel like this has been quite a ramble. Let's just talk about what I'm hoping to read the rest of this year. We only have 3 months left, which is absurd. It is October, which means that we have one more book club read together this year. The ARG Book Club is going to be reading The Weaver and the Witch Queen by Genevieve Gornichek in October, and I could not be more excited. We read The Witch's Heart together a few years back, and I loved that. It was such a great, cozy, mythological read, and I am hoping this has the same vibes. So this is set in medieval Norway. Yeah, it's 10th century Norway. It's got some like folklore, magical elements, but also historical fiction, which is my favorite thing. So I am excited to read this with you and with Tanya, and I'm so jealous because Tanya is currently reading this in Norway. I'm jealous. So I can't wait to hear more about her trip, but also to discuss this book with Tanya and with all of you. So I hope you will pick up a copy and read along with us, and we will be discussing this together on November 1st, which is the first Saturday in November. Let's talk about what I'm hoping to read for the Build Your Library Reading Challenge. I only have I have 6 prompts left. And I already assigned books to each of the prompts. I just have to read them now. So let's talk about what I'm reading. I needed to read a book that was banned in my state or region, and I was struggling with that because it was hard to find. Like, New England isn't, it's mostly blue states. However, New Hampshire is the outlier. So I was looking over what I could find, and of the things that were banned, this was already on my shelf, and I was like, oh, perfect. So I'm going to be reading The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This is one of those books that I've always meant to read, but still haven't gotten to. I've owned this for at least 5 years. So I'm excited to finally pick it up. I don't even know what this is about. I've never really looked into it. It's just one of those books that I'm like, oh, I should read that. Because it's one of those books that like is on everyone's list of must read. So I will finally be reading The Bluest Eye. Then I need to read a book about reproductive rights, and you've seen this book so many times. It's been on my TBR almost every month. It's absurd. Why have I not picked this up? I don't know. But I bought the audiobook. I used one of my Libro FM credits. So I will be reading Truth, Lies, and the Questions in Between by L.M. Eliot. This came out at the beginning of the year. I keep talking about it. It sounds great. This is a story that's set in the 1970s, and it's about a teenage girl getting involved in politics, and it's set around the passing of Roe v. Wade, and I just feel like I'm going to enjoy this. I've read books similar to this before and liked them, so I feel like I should like this. And dang it, I'm trying really hard to make myself read the things that I say I'm going to read. But like, this has literally been on my TBR like 10 times. I need to read a book that is written prior to the 1960s, and I was very pleased when I realized I'm already in the process of doing that. My daughter and I are currently reading The Crucible together. So, boom. Crucible by Arthur Miller, written in the 1950s. So I will be using this for that prompt. I needed to read a book set in the 1960s, and I have Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. I feel like this is one of those books that you either love it or hate it. I have no idea where I'm going to fall. I feel like I'll love it because it's a book about women in science. It's historical fiction, and generally speaking, that is a thing I love. So it sounds like it's for me. However, I know a lot of people hated this book, so I'm really curious to see where I fall. It's been a weird year for reading, so who knows, honestly. I need to read a book that's set in or about a library, and I just happen to have The Library of Unruly Treasures by Jean Birdsall sitting on my shelf. I received this from the publisher. I've been really excited to read it. I really enjoyed Jean Birdsall's writing in the past, so I'm curious to see what this is about. I don't even know. I haven't looked at it, besides that it's about a library. And I think it's like possibly a little bit of fantasy, but I'm not really sure. Then the last prompt I need to get to is read a book that is on the top 10 list of banned books. And I have been sitting with this on my shelf for forever. Like, I bought this so long ago, and I have yet to read Looking for Alaska by John Green. I read The Fault in Our Stars and was, shall we say, underwhelmed. I love John Green. I think he's amazing. I love all of his nonfiction. I love his Crash Course stuff. fabulous human being. But I've just like not really vibed with this fiction, but I'm like, you know what? I own this. And if I don't like it, I can get rid of it. I can let it go. So I'm gonna read it and then I'll decide. I have only looked at the buzzword prompts for October because I decided planning November and December in advance would be a bad idea because, again, in a mood reading kind of mood, and I don't know that I would stick to it if I assigned any books right now. So I only looked at October. But in October, you need to read a book with violent words in the title, and you need to read a book with weapons on the cover. So, for violent words, I have Blood Slaves by Marcus Redmond. Again, this has been screaming at me. Like, sometimes a book will just keep staring you down. Every time you pass it, every time you walk by, it's like, read me. So that's what this has been doing. It's all up in my face. So I need to read it. This was a new release. This came out a couple months ago, I think. And I am so curious about it because this is a vampire story, but it's historical. And I think it's about like a revenge thing with the people who were enslaved, like seeking vengeance on the people who enslaved. Like, it sounds amazing. I have such high hopes. So I'm excited to read that. And then a book with a weapon on the cover. I was looking through my books, and this is the one that jumped out at me. And that is Butcher by Joyce Carol Oates. This is historical fiction about a woman's asylum in the 19th century and a terrifying doctor who wants to change the world. And I mean, that is right up my alley. That is exactly the kind of thing I tend to like. I've never read this author before, but this book has been like screaming at me for months. I bought this at the beginning of the year. Or no, did I buy this last year? I might have bought this last year. I just really need to read it. So I'm going to try to make that happen. Let's talk 5-star predictions. I have 5 books left to read this year. I was trying to do one a month and it just fell apart in September. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to worry so much about one a month anymore. I'm not going to pull, I'm not doing a TBR for the rest of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you what I have left in the TBR jar of selections here. And I'll be reading these as I see fit. I'm just going to make it happen. So I still have In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I already showed you this because this was supposed to be read in, like, I don't know, was this in August or September? I don't even know anymore. But I didn't get to it. So I still need to read In the Lives of Puppets. This is, I think, a Pinocchio retelling, but with robots. That's all I got. I have The Fair Fight by Anna Freeman. I've had this on my shelf for forever. I think since I started this channel, which is like 10 years ago. I've had so many people tell me I'm going to love this. And I believe you. I do think I'm going to love this. I need to read it. So this is like Victorian era. It's Fight Club for girls. I'm so intrigued. I have The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. This is one that I am like tentatively saying is going to be a 5-star because on paper it sounds like a thing I would enjoy. However, this has the potential to be something I hate. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get through this one, but this is like a story about an author who writes under mysterious circumstances and is a recluse suddenly resurfacing with a brand new book and a competition. I've heard that it's like very cozy. I've heard that it's like an ode to book lovers. So it sounds on paper like something I would like, but also I'm really not in the mood for sappy. And I'm afraid this might lean towards sappy. And I don't know if I can do that right now, but we'll see. I have The Paragon Hotel by Lindsay Fay. Lindsay Fay is an author I've read in the past and enjoyed. And I just feel like this is a book I'm going to love. This is set in the 1920s, and it's about a woman who I think is like passing as white, and she stumbles onto this place and this group of people. It feels, and I've said this before, but it feels like that episode of Angel, the series, in season 2, Have You Now or Have You, what is it called? Have You Now or Have You Ever Been? Something like that. And it's set in this hotel, the Hyperion, and it's very like 1950s vibes, very McCarthyism vibes. Everyone's like pointing fingers. It's not exactly the same time period, obviously, since it's the 20s, but it's like Prohibition. It's hidden identities and that kind of thing. And it just sounds similar vibes. And then the last 5-star prediction I have is Indian Burial Ground by Nick Medina. This is like a horror mythology retelling kind of thing. Native American mythology. I just feel like it's going to be something I enjoy. I've been trying to make myself pick up like diverse horror, trying out new things that I might not otherwise pick up, and like this has been one that has just been screaming at me. And I got it in a Nightworm, so it's got like a signed book plate. So I really want to read it. Now let's just talk mood reading for a minute again. I have been reading slowly Feral and Hysterical, Mother Horror's Ultimate Reading Guide to Dark and Disturbing Fiction for Women. This is by Sadie Hartman. I read her book, 101 Horror Novels to Read Before You're Murdered, last year, and like went down a whole like deep dive into horror. And this one is similar in that it's a deep dive into women writing horror. And I'm obsessed already. Like I'm like halfway. I've read about this much, and I'm just like making lists of all the books that I either already own or that sound like something that I would really enjoy. And so I've been like coming up with TBRs. I might do a video of, I don't know if I'm gonna do like, because the way she has this set up is she's got like all these different like mood lists. So like Swamp Core and Sporer, and she'll give you a list of books in that category, and she's coming up with this list as like, you want to read these all together. And I love that concept, but I'm really bad at sticking to it, because I might read 2 of the books and then go, okay, I need something else now. So I don't know if I could do all of that, but I might pick a few from different categories to talk about. I don't know yet, but I'm planning something. There will be a video of me reading things from this. I am currently reading The Haunting of Velkwood by Gwendolyn Keast. I've had this on my shelf for forever. I think this is one of the first books I got from Nightworms when I subscribed. And I've been wanting to read it, especially after reading that American Cannibal book. Gwendolyn Keast had a story in that was like my favorite short story of that whole collection. So I've been really curious to read this book. It's about a haunted neighborhood, which I find intriguing, and like this woman trying to figure out like what happened, and going back and trying to understand the past throughout like what happened during the haunting. And it's very interesting. I'm like a third of the way so far, so I'm hoping to finish this at the beginning of October. I was hoping to finish it in September, but I don't think I will now. It's probably not going to happen today. Today is the last day of the month. So this is definitely happening though, because I'm already reading it. Then these are just things that are on my shelves that have been yelling at me. They have been staring at me, and I'm going to try to prioritize them. So first I have Slayers Every One of Us by Kristin Russo and Jenny Owens Young. This is a book they wrote together about the making of their podcast, Buffering the Vampire Slayer, and I love them. They are so great. I adore their podcast. I haven't watched every episode, or I haven't listened to every episode, but I've listened to quite a few. And they now have like a second podcast that they're working on with spoilers. The first one they did is spoiler free, and the second one they're doing now is rewatching the entire Buffy the Vampire Slayer series, but now they're discussing spoilers as they go. Delightful. So I've had this. I got it when it came out in the spring, and I am currently like number 75 in line for the audiobooks. I really wanted to listen to it's about a podcast, and it's by podcasters, and they are narrating it. So like I wanted to listen to it. So I'm in line on Libby. I'm hoping to get that by the end of the year. This has been staring me down, and then it was also mentioned in Feral and Hysterical, and I'm like, well, clearly that's a sign that I need to read it. And that is Little Eve by Catriona Ward. This is like gothic cult vibes, and I think it's historical. I think, yeah, it's 1921. So I'm so curious about this. I've read Sundial, and I've been meaning to read anything else by this author, and just haven't. So prioritize it. Then I have the second newest Sylvia Marina Garcia. I didn't read the book that came out last year, which is The Seventh Veil of Salome, and I was so excited about this book. and I really want to pick it up. This is an author I've loved before. This is a story about movies in the golden age of movies, so like the 1950s. This is like a story within a story, so it sounds like a thing I'm going to love. So I'm very curious about it. I definitely want to read it really soon. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is Gothic Town by Emily Carpenter, because I am very much in the mood for like gothic, moody, atmospheric books. And this one has been like staring me down. This is a story about a woman who like moves into this new neighborhood and discovers the house that she's living in might be haunted. I don't really know too much more than that, but like this cover and title is just what I'm in the mood for right now. So there may also be a video in the near future of me just like binging gothic books and like maybe reading until I find a 5-star gothic book. I don't know. Something along those lines. So anyway, I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to make a comeback to YouTube. I keep saying that and I just haven't yet, but I think October is my month. This is usually the month that I feel the best. It's cooler weather, it's autumn, the leaves are changing. I'm just usually in such a good mood. It's spooky season, so I'm hoping to put out a bunch of content. I want to work on some shorts because I'm always like, why have I not done more shorts? Those are easy videos to make. They just I have to sit and do it. I'm wanting to do some more reading vlogs. I just want to do stuff. I feel like I miss being creative. So I'm wanting to try to make some more content. So hopefully you will be seeing me again in the very near future. Please let me know in the comments below, what are some books that are screaming at you? What is jumping off the shelves, like throwing itself at you? I would love to know. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.